My name's Barry Robertson. I come from North Ayrshire, which is, for anybody that doesn't know, it's where the island of Arran is. And I am the founder and CEO of Kappa de Rock Theatre Company, which is a small theatre organisation based in Ardrossan in an area of low cultural participation in the whole of Scotland. It's an interesting story because I came back from London and what happened was I was on job seekers allowance and I had the option of looking for a job like everyone does or go self-employed, and at the time I didn't even know what self-employed was. I just came out of the Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama, so I knew I was looking for a creative role, but I wasn't sure where I would find one, and I knew from living in the area there wasn't many opportunities in the region. So I heard about the Cultural Enterprise Office and what it did, and I was literally using my brew money to travel to Glasgow to meet with an industry expert to talk me through theatre, what theatre is like in Scotland, also talking about what self-employment is, how do you engage with an audience, is this for me? So it was really a trial by trial step of an evolution of where I've ended up today, if that makes sense. So I think I spent a year and a half just freelance. I just went freelance, and at the time I was wanting to put on a performance, and I knew I didn't want to put it from a freelance, and I knew I needed some kind of a vehicle of a company to set that up. And there was lots of different options, whether it was a charity or whether it was not-for-profit, whether it was profit, and I got a range of advice from different sources, but primarily Cultural Enterprise Office, that helped me on the right road of deciding between a charity or not-for-profit. And it was through their help and support really that pointed me in the right direction of creating what is now Kappa de Rock Theatre Company. Wow, I feel as though it's been a while now, but I remember I was quite ballsy, if that makes any sense. I would come at least once a month. I was always having a film, like a form to fill out, and I'd be like, right, I'm here to book my next lesson, like my next appointment, sorry. And they'd be like, are you ready? And I went, yes, I will need one in a month's time and I will see you then. So it was kind of like, for me, I was very fortunate because I was in job seekers allowance, and it gave me a little bit of time and freedom when I was looking for part-time to really talk to someone and go, I need to set targets, I need to meet these targets, and if I have any more questions, I can come back in a month's time and talk them through. And I'd done that for a good year. Which is weird, but really beneficial, if that makes sense.
Your business?
Yeah, everything really. I remember at the time I was, straight out of drama school, doing some freelance drama classes, wanting to understand what self-employed is, a little bit of marketing. There was some laws, how to set up your contracts. There was literally something every month that I needed to know from an industry expert. And because I didn't have enough resources back at home, it was literally phone call and going, hey, it's Barry here, I need to speak to so-and-so, I had this question. And they're like, right, okay, if you can fill out a form and we can set up a meeting. So it's been really beneficial to travel up to Glasgow, get that help and support. Yeah. So it's been a bit like a slingshot, whereas I've been pulled back and then let to go, if that makes sense. I feel as though we're at a weird point in Scotland. If you think about it, there's job losses left and right. More and more people want to chase their ambition and their dream. And depending on what that is, if it's a creative dream and ambition, there's not many people that get the idea. So for me, I'm sitting at the job centre and like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I want to set up a theatre company. I want to put theatre on or just theatre classes. And the person at the other side of the table is like, So to come to Cultural Enterprise Office and go, I want to set up a theatre company, maybe do some classes, and they're like, okay, cool, right, so you're on the right path. And I was like, what? I don't have to sell this story to you? Like, that was just breaking down barriers for me. But literally for me, from the West Coast, there was nobody on the West Coast, and I had to travel all the way to Glasgow to get that help and support, or Skype in and talk to someone. So if you think about it from a location point of view, that's a lot of mileage, do you know what I mean, to get that unique help and support from where I was starting out to where I am now. I think for me, and I think everyone's uniquely individual, And anyone that's freelance will tell you each different story. You know, you'll go up against a wall. Literally, for me, being on the West Coast, I feel as though I've hit a lot of walls, only because we're talking about stuff that we're not used to. So if you're from Glasgow, there's a lot of culture, there's a lot of different creativity, organisations, a lot of social enterprises. So a lot more people and regional support are there to support these new starts. Whereas I would say those living outside the Central Belt, a lot of people still haven't heard what a social enterprise is yet. Do you know what I mean? We're living in an era where councils are cutting costs, there's not a lot of funding around. How do you work with third sector social enterprises within the arts to increase arts participation? So when you talk about these things outside the Central Belt, a lot of it's for the first time. So in that retrospect, I feel as though the Cultural Enterprise Office has set me up geared, but at the same time, within being alone out there, you'll hit your own walls and kind of go, oh. So it's just great to know that no matter what I go through, I'm only a phone call away to the Cultural Enterprise Office or a specialist just to let off or point me back in the right direction, which is unique. You don't get that in many other places. Yeah, we're in a start-up, build-up kind of mode. We got some big lottery funding recently over a 3-year period. It's for educational outreach classes. So there hasn't been a theatre company in North Ayrshire since Borderline left, which was over 20 years ago. And as I said previously, we've got the lowest youth and adult participation. So it's interesting. I feel as though there's a great massive need for the work that we do. Yet some of the challenges are like similar people, in that you've maybe got an audience that are used to theatre and taking part, and then you've got a new audience that aren't used to taking part and understand what is theatre for them. And then because there isn't theatre or high arts participation, there's a lot of question, what is this cultural participation that you've created? Is it for me? And that is something that I face quite a lot at the moment. And it's even still to this day, a lot of people still find it's too posh or it's not for me. That's just that theatre thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, it's totally not. It's grassroots. It's for everyone. It's, you know, it's something local that's on your doorstep. And I suppose that's what's great about it. It's very much level-footed. It's no airs or graces. It's community involvement, and that's what you want. You want the community to take ownership of it and allow it to grow and sustain itself. If I'm being honest, and this is something it took me a while to learn, and we don't talk about it often because we're Scottish, failure. There's something really nice about failing, but learning from that situation. So where I am today, from where I was maybe 2 years ago, with lots of different ideas, you know, I would meet an advisor and they'd go, right, Barry, what's your plan? I'd go, well, I think it's this, this and this. And obviously 2 of them just didn't work, completely didn't work, but 1 did work. So I feel as though having to go through that process to where I am now has allowed me to just build, grow step by step to allow me to get to where it is now. So we've just really started the 3-year programme of the classes. We're about to relaunch in August, so we have classes for adults and for children, and we also do arts awards, so that's professional qualifications for young people. Coming up next, we have a rehearsed reading from a local playwright at the Harbour Arts Centre later on in the year, and our small theatre production Night of Broadway. So it's all go, yet at the same time it's just inspiring. I suppose maybe my downfall is I don't, and I think maybe a lot of people like this, you don't give yourself enough time to reflect on the journey, or even stop to kind of say, hold on a minute, you were there, you're now here. That's a massive achievement. So it's learning to stop and reflect on that. Sandy's been an amazing person. So for me, Sandy is the theatre advisor here at the Cultural Enterprise Office. So if I have anything to do with theatre, Sandy's always the first person that I would go to. Now, Sandy's helped me through things like, how do you get a board member, or should I go down the charity route, or I'm wanting to create like a small theatre tour and I've never really done it before. Is there anybody that I can talk to? And what other organisations are out there? So it's nice to know, and I hope she doesn't mind me saying this, it's almost like that fairy godmother person. And I don't mean that in cartoon wise, it's like just to know that no matter what the question is, even though you might think it's silly or really small, there's somebody that's either been through it before you, or knows somebody who knows somebody, or can point you in the right direction, and that person's Sandy, which is great, because it just means anytime you do have those questions, 99% of the time you know Sandy's going to be like, yeah, not a problem, I just need to talk to you about this, which is great.
Yeah. And what would you say to anyone who was thinking about approaching the office for some advice and help?
Definitely do it. I'm a bit of a thinker, so I would really think about, like, what I mean by that is you've got limited time when you meet an industry expert, and you want to get the most out of their time. So for me personally, it wouldn't just be 1 or 2 questions. I would really think out, you know, a minimum of 10 questions to make sure that I covered all the points so I didn't need to come back. Just take your time and think of what it is that you're doing. Do you see your ambition? Is that your drive to take you forward? And I would always say to people before they come, like, you don't need to be, you can be at any level before you come to Cultural Enterprise Office, but maybe start something and start that journey, and then kind of go, right, now I've got questions, and then jump in, because that's the time to when you contact Cultural Enterprise Office, and it's just a massive ride. You just keep going back and forward. It's like the tide coming in and out. But it's nice to know that it's like a family, and you can phone at any time. You can talk to anybody in the office, or even if it's a lawyer or marketing person or an industry expert. It's just a case of, right, no problem, we'll get that sorted, we'll book you in. And that's what's great about the Cultural Enterprise Office. Capital Rock Theatre Company is a not-for-profit organisation, and currently we're in the process of getting charitable status. I truly believe that when you create something in an area that doesn't have an arts participation, you want to hand that back and influence other people the same way you've been influenced through the arts. And that's the whole purpose of the organisation and what we want to do in our local town of Ardrossan in North Ayrshire and Arran. And I think what's great about it is it's there for everyone and anyone that wants to take part, but also it's there as a support mechanism for the next generation of creatives, to allow them to really understand what is creativity, what is a stable income, what is a social enterprise, most importantly, when outside the Central Belt there's not a lot of opportunities to create that or understand where you can get help from that. For us going forward, it's about how do we support artists in the local area? How do we support local playwrights? How do we support our elderly in society and getting them out of the house and taking part in arts? Or more importantly, how do we give young people the opportunity to increase their creativity by taking part in a youth theatre setting, for example? And when you put all these together, what we're doing most importantly is creating community, bringing people together through arts to enjoy themselves.